Alright, so we're back with another video on the Supernote devices here, and thank goodness because it's been a while since I've talked about these on the channel, and Supernote has a new update out, and honestly, it's a pretty big deal. So, my Supernote Nomad here will not have the latest update, so this is going to be the old version that probably most of you are running right now. So to be exact, this is on version 3.23.32. which was the update that added all the stickers and had the latest ink flow update as well. And as of right now, it's not even saying it can get an update. So yes, this is currently in beta, as of right now at least. So now let's take a look at this beta and what it added. A big update for text on the Supernote. I kind of wonder if this is a hint towards an actual keyboard case for the Manta or the Nomad here. I mean, it does have those pin connectors right here on the side of the device, and it's got the hooks. It could easily have a keyboard attachment, and I think that would work great. It worked better with this size tablet than the Nomad for sure, in my opinion. It added that feature. It supports direct insertion of text boxes. So instead of reading out all these right now, we're going to take them one at a time, and then we're going to actually look at them in practice. Right away, you can see the text box feature. And now that this is selected, everywhere you tap with the stylus, you're bringing up a lovely text box that you can resize, move. So this little grabber right here lets you move it around. These let you change the width of it, and then as you just keep writing, it will change how tall it is. You can choose between the system font or looks like a couple others right now. So it's a more handwritten looking fonts, which is a nice option to have. Bold, italic, how the paragraphs are oriented, and the font size. And you can add a digest right here as well, which that's going to be a whole nother thing that we can talk about. Undo, redo, and just deleting the text box. So really cool already to see that. Man, getting these keys to press right is a bit of a pain. Come on, give me a space. It's far from perfect, but it's an option to have, which is nice. But the biggest point you're going to want to use this is with an external keyboard, and we'll show that in just a moment here. But I just want to point out how, look, there is no text box option whatsoever on the previous version. This is brand new. So the next big thing, in my opinion, is that it supports recognition and conversion of lasso selected handwriting into text. That is huge, because as of right now, the only way to convert your handwriting to text is through a handwriting to text conversion notebook, and you push this little I here, and this is a test of the handwriting conversion, and that works great. But if you aren't on a handwriting conversion note like this one, there's not even really a way to do that. You can kind of export it in that way, but there's not a convenient way to turn this into text. So now you can just use your lasso selection tool and select it, tap the three dots, recognize as text or recognize as digest, and we'll get into that a little more later as well. But let's first do text, and boom, converts it in line into text. And now you can move this around your notebook and do all sorts of stuff like that, which is way more useful in my opinion. And this now brings it up to par with Remarkable's handwriting to text conversion that it does all in line by selection. And now I think this is just better in every way, because you can do the whole page at a time, but you also don't have to, and you can do it in line like this. And if you didn't like it, you can just undo it and it puts it right back. So super nice. And as you can see here, if I select this, tap the three dots, the digest feature and the handwriting conversion is not even an option here. And just more on that text box feature quick, we're gonna read through a few of these other ones that relate to it. So supporting setting text as bold, italic, adjusting text alignment, and selecting font type size, which we kind of went over, using custom fonts and built-in handwriting fonts. So yes, you can put in your own fonts to this Supernote, which is great. You can basically then do whatever you want with it. It also supports searching for text box content in global search. This little section of text right here, if I am outside of this app, out of everything, I can swipe down, tap the search bar, and I can switch what I'm searching for. So there's the file, keyword, star, handwriting, or text, and boom, there's my result. It took a little bit to find that, but that's okay. I'm sure it's searching every single thing that has text in it, and yeah, it worked pretty great. I mean, you can still search handwriting as well, which you can do over here. There's just the addition of text. But I do believe the handwriting search only works on the handwriting conversion notes, if I remember correctly. I don't think it searches all your handwriting. And the last thing that's kind of related to the text is that they added the clipboard feature and some optimizations to the Bluetooth keyboard. So you can have a Bluetooth keyboard paired up here and go to the text box. It does seem to be able to kind of settle into these lines. Maybe I'm imagining that, but it kind of seems like it snaps to it just a little bit, which is nice. You can get it right in the middle of those lines. This is me typing on the Manta. And wow, it's pretty quick. It's not perfect, but honestly, it's not distracting me on how slow it is or anything like that. Pretty much as soon as I press the key, it's there. My eyes can barely tell the delay. Yeah, it's worse than an LCD screen or something like that, but man, it is way better than trying to type on the touchscreen keyboard on the Manta. It is terrible. Terrible experience. You basically always want to use the handwriting to text function on that keyboard. But this is very usable. I can totally type some notes out and make this my little typewriter. I like it a lot. Again, this makes me wonder, since they're optimizing for this more, will they add their own keyboard, hardware keyboard? Maybe. That would be awesome. I think that I'll be all for that. But at the same time, having a keyboard case like that is not all pros. So if you just get a little stand to prop this guy up, and you can easily turn it to landscape mode as well. So yeah, I think that would be cool, but honestly, a Bluetooth keyboard works just fine. Now, let's go on the Nomad and test the latency difference. We're going to have to actually open a Word document because it doesn't have the text box in the notes. Obviously, that's a difference there. So, this is the keyboard test on the Nomad, and yeah, it's pretty snappy. So you guys let me know in the comments down below. Here, I'm switching back to the Manta. This is the Manta again, and how it types. Then switching back to my Nomad. Then here is the Nomad. I think they're about the same, to be honest. It almost looks faster on the Nomad, but that might just be because the text is smaller and I'm not noticing the little delays quite as much. But it's hard to tell too. I mean, I make this 36 size font. I mean, it's almost the same here. This is a test with even smaller text. Can you spot the difference? So yeah, hard to tell for me, to be honest. Maybe the Nomad is still a little quicker, but I do remember someone did a typing test between the Nomad and the Manta when the Manta first was released, and it was far slower, like aggravatingly slower than the Nomad. So I think they have tweaked it. It's not perfect, but it looks like the Nomad doesn't really need any tweaking there. So I think it's very acceptable on the Manta. Nomad, really, really good. But yeah, I love having that text integrated. I might actually use text in a note now, where for here, I never opened text and Word documents on my Supernote devices. It just never interested me. I wasn't going to do it. So besides that, you can now actually copy and paste and have that clipboard, or I can select something, Control C and Control V. So you have that ability to do that there, or at least in the text document. I'm not seeing any way to copy or paste them. I think you might be able to do Control C and Control V. Yeah, it's not built into the system itself to be able to do that very easily. So yeah, I think those are great improvements, and we're not done. So big text overhaul for these devices, but there's also the changes to the digest feature, which, to be perfectly honest, I barely ever use the digest feature. So I'm like, oh, this update's all about digest. Yay. I'm not a huge fan of that. Well, maybe you should be, because the digest app has become a much better standalone app. So let's compare them side by side. Obviously, I don't even have a digest in this, but I'll show what that looks like in a minute. But this one actually has the ability to add categories, to categorize them, to search in the app, to show all the sources, and you can add a new digest right from in here and actually just start typing. So first you can show what you're digesting. So I'm digesting, this is what I'm saying, and then you can either annotate by handwriting, or you can use the keyboard again. So if I wanted to handwrite, this is very interesting, and I can totally do that. Or I can use the keyboard and say this is very which is awesome that you have that choice. I kind of wish, just like in the Notes app, you actually just had the ability to add text boxes in the handwriting section, but this is very fine. It's just a choice between the two of them, and you can actually have both of them stored there. So this is my handwriting part of it, and this is the keyboard part of it, and they both have some information, and they can be different, and that's great. That's fine. So yeah, all that stuff of making a digest in the Digest app, adding these categories and stuff, did not exist. But I'll show you what the Digest app does look like if you have something in it. So you basically would need to be in some kind of PDF. Did a digest, tapped on the digest and said, this is really cool. And that's really what you use it for. I mean, you're basically annotating or commenting on something in a PDF or book that you are reading, and then you can view them all in one place in the Digest app. And that's really all it was good for. and it wasn't my favorite feature ever. And look, this is how it lays it out. It shows the one source that it's from and how many from that source it is. You tap into it and you see all those from the source. This is such a better layout, a better use of the space. You can look at categories, you can look at actual sources if that's how you want to navigate things, add new category, way better of an app. But the app isn't everything that got changed here. It's also where and how you can add digest. All the typing inputs were not options before, like there was no switching between handwriting and typing in here. That was not an option at all. And I really like that they added typing support. Then if we go back to our test note here, we can lastly select this text, and you can do recognize as digest. And then this turns into a digest of yourself. You can add on to this with typing. If I can actually type. So now that has been recognized as a digest. Whenever you do that recognizing, it turns it into text, even if it's handwriting, and it credits it to yourself. That's the source. And yeah, I think it's really interesting that you can use this system to save other kinds of information. I don't know how often I will feel the need to digest in my own or mark certain things in my notes as digest. And yes, you can take big chunks of text like this, turn it into a digest, and create that as a digest. And then you can view all these things in the digest app. Both of those that I made are in here, and these again become the titles. So you can go back into here and add way more information about them in annotations. So this is just like the thing you're digesting. It's not really even the full digest. And yeah, I'm not really showing much over on this side, mostly because just it's not even like some of these features are here. This is all brand new. So if I select this and go here, there's nothing that I can do like that on this device without the new update. So yeah, that's the new digest features. That's new text boxes and text features, text optimization. Again, very interesting they're adding all this. I feel like it does hint at some kind of keyboard case coming, but I could be totally wrong about that. It just feels like the signs are definitely there for something like that. And I mean, in that case, it would be a great use for something like this metal stand that I have. And I can put my Supernote device landscape and maybe take some keyboard handwriting digest notes here. I can set it up higher and make it like an e-ink netbook kind of thing. There's a lot of options here. It's a neat idea. I know that this isn't the only time that Supernote has let you use the keyboard, but it is a huge improvement. I might actually use that now, where I didn't really have any desire to use it before because I don't do much text document editing on my Supernote device, but adding little blocks of text in my notes, there are times where that would be useful, and having that option, having the keyboard better optimized, which I think that might have actually come in the last version, if I remember correctly. So that might actually be on your Supernotes right now, but this is the update. It's really taking advantage of those enhancements. Definitely looks like it could be paving the way for other keyboard things and accessories for the Supernote down the road. All that is speculation though. I have heard nothing from Supernote on that matter. Those were all the major updates here, minus the fact that now digest data can sync to your desktop and mobile Supernote partner apps, and you can just enable that, and it tells you how to do that right here. So if you are using those features, which I am definitely more likely to do now, they actually sync across to the other apps, which is super helpful. And here's a fix for when storing digest from backup files. It will now be performed without clearing existing data in the digest app first. So it just makes it less likely for you to lose data that you already have, which is awesome. Optimize the wake up feature for some devices that could not wake from sleep. That's important. enhance the reformatting display when exporting notes to docs and text. So from notes, when you export to those formats, it does a little better job, which is important now that it supports text boxes. It improved the indentation display for converted text of real-time recognition notes. Great to see. Keyboard added the button for quickly switching to the handwritten keyboard, which I showed and used earlier. Global search, it now remembers the last selected search type, which is helpful. And it fixed the issue where the no load shutdown feature on Nomad device was ineffective after being turned on, so made it more effective here. Fixed the issue where handwriting was lost due to not being saved promptly when using the shortcut keys on a Bluetooth keyboard to exit the note. All great things as they're optimizing more for this styling and having keyboards and all that kind of stuff. Great to see them work on the bugs and the kinks. So I think this is a great update from Supernote. It's not quite out to the public yet, but as soon as it is, I'll try to send you guys a post or something and let you know where it's at. And thank you guys for watching this video on the Supernote devices. And hey, if you like this pen loop you see on my Supernote and you haven't checked out my custom pen loop yet for yourself, go ahead and check my store, grafxtech.com, for your very own pen loop. They're as inexpensive as I could make them basically, and they work great. This is still one of the first ones that I printed for my Supernote Manta, and it's held up in great condition. I see nothing wrong with it. And with the Manta, you don't lose the loop when you take off your case, but the Nomad's loop was always better in my opinion, with just how much more rigid and solid it felt. So now I feel like I have the best of both worlds with the Manta, and I am never going back. And if you're interested in my setup at all, it's all going to be linked in the description down below. And as always guys, have a great rest of your day. And if you enjoyed this video, comment below your favorite part and your favorite part of this update. And of course subscribe, it really does help the channel to keep growing and reaching more people. And share this video. Views are even more important now, and comments and interactions that YouTube can see than even just pure subscriber count. So anything you guys can do to keep this channel going, I will greatly appreciate it. And if you ever have anything you want me to make a video on, or any thoughts for me, I try my best to answer every single comment that comes through. As always, have a great rest of your day.